Hi, Stoyan.
Man, oh yes, we can hear each other. Happy to
Yeah,
see you.
how are you?
Working hard.
Yeah,
How was the summer for you? Like, did you get some break?
this summer, yeah, we had a break 21st of July till 15th of August. So we are recharged with full battery.
Oh yeah, that sounds amazing.
Hi, Renata.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Did you get some time off, Stoyan and Renata? No time
Not
off.
on my end.
Oh, okay.
But now we can fix this.
How?
Actually, I wanted to ask if someone going to visit blockchain conference. I don't remember the name in Barcelona in the middle of October.
Is it European Blockchain Convention, probably?
Yes, I think yes.
Yeah, not me. I'll
Ah,
be in Japan, so that's good.
Nice.
But I think that I see Daniela. Hi, Daniela, because I think Daniela will be in Barcelona, but I'm not sure. Maybe I remember wrong. And hi, Masi.
I was talking on mute. You do see me. How are you, Shane? I am trying to figure out my. Give me 1 second. I'll put my video on in a second. I'm listening to something else. Hold on. How do I turn the audio here? Okay.
Should be on the bottom left.
Yeah, no. I'm listening to a YouTube. Uh,
Okay.
I'm listening to the BIS Innovation Summit live stream, and it's in one of my thousands of tabs, and I can't find it. I just found it. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Good morning or good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon here in Belgium.
So, Shane, I heard you say Barcelona. I will not be in Barcelona this year.
Okay. Because Renata was asking, I don't know if anyone is SPO going to be in Barcelona?
No, we're not.
No.
hey guys, why not? I expected that we can finally see each other in person.
Renata, you're going to be there?
Yeah.
I think the Kaleido folks are going to be there. I'm pretty sure they are. Kaleido, they're core maintainers for Firefly and Bezu.
Got it. I know them.
So let me send them. Is it just going to be you, Renata? Is anybody else going to be there?
I think yes, only me.
Okay. I'll send you an intro email.
Very kind. Thank you.
All right, cool. Do you think we should wait for somebody else or just proceed, perhaps?
I believe it's a good time to start.
Yeah,
Let people join us.
we
Yeah,
can
cool.
go.
So yeah, we didn't agree on a facilitator last time, so perhaps I'll take over and just kind of go through the agenda. As we don't have anyone new here today, no need for intros.
But we have someone new next to me here on the
Oh,
camera.
sorry.
Yeah.
Shane, I'm sorry.
I will,
Your camera is
um,
like a square, so I only see you. Now I see.
okay.
Okay.
Here's my colleague, my very new colleague since yesterday, Kushal Soni. He recently got his PhD from the Vrije Universiteit Brussels in Belgium, and as a civil engineer in computer science. But maybe you can say the theme of your PhD before you continue.
Yeah, it's I created a PhD for businesses basically. So the topic was blockchain for businesses. So created tools that businesses easily could use to then create blockchain applications without having any pre-knowledge of blockchain or smart contracts. That was basically the topic. And nice to meet you all, by the way.
Yeah. So I'll be training Kushal to grow towards my role as a Web3 lead. So voila, it's good to. I think this is a very great set of people to know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Great.
This-
Good to have you on board.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And we would love to see that paper.
Oh yeah, I have a whole PhD thesis about it, 300 pages of fun, so I can
Mhm.
forward that without any problems.
I'll provide you the email addresses.
Perfect.
Just send if it's public, just post it to the group. I'm sure other
Yeah.
people would be interested.
Should I do it
Hey,
now?
speaking of Collider, there's Enrique. So there's I
Hey,
was about
Daniela.
I was about to send you an email. So
Yeah, Sophia asked me to join, so I'll listen in today.
fantastic. Do you want to introduce yourself to the?
Yeah, I see a few familiar faces, I think, on the call, but yeah, I'm Enrique. I'm a software engineer at Kaleido here in the UK. So I'll join a little bit. This European chapter I'm part of the Technical Advisory Council at the LFDT, so we have a meeting every Thursday, and I'm also one of the maintainers of Firefly, one of the projects in the LFDT.
Cool. Thanks, Enrique. So, Kushar, if you Kushara, yes, am I saying it right?
Yeah, Kushal, indeed.
Oh, you sent the link. Great, awesome. So I'll also put it in the agenda of the in the minute notes, so that everyone can access it later. Let me just write it down. Great. Awesome. Cool. So yeah, I mean, first meeting after the summer. Usually the way we go about it, a short reminder is that each of us kind of shares some of the activities that they have been up to over the past month, which would now be 3 months actually, since our last meeting was in June, and also any new initiatives or activities that are happening in the upcoming months that we could perhaps support each other in, or you would like to invite us to. So yeah, maybe I can share this stage for someone else to be the first. I know, Shane, that you published on our Discord a link to an event a few days ago. Could you maybe share a bit more about that and then about other activities you have planned?
Yeah, within a European research project, we've been working on exploring how SSI, or particular verifiable credentials, can help to authenticate on zero trust networks. And the use case we use is an industrial setting where there's a robot that needs to be maintained, and the zero trust network on the internal network is perfectly configured. However, the weakness is, how do you verify that the person coming is indeed the person they claim to be? A traditional use case for presenting verifiable credentials. And I've presented that in Amsterdam um, at the end of August, and the same talk I will be presenting in Tokyo next week at the AI blockchain conference, but I can put the link in the chat. But I'm very much looking forward to attend that conference, because it's by the only research institute dedicated to informatics, only dedicated to informatics in Japan, and I think I can meet lots of academia from Japan in one academic conference. And I put the slide in already in Amsterdam, one slide also explaining LFDT and LFDT Europe, and I will do the same in Japan, because all the small bits help, I think. And then, yeah, that's that research project. Then we are going to start a research project, Flemish funded, on digital product passports, more specifically for the fashion industry we will focus on. And there we will explore how verifiable credentials can help to let data travel over silos. And then another project that recently started is Kafamor. And Kafamor, we are not the lead there. It's the University of Wageningen in Netherlands is the lead, and that will be regarding carbon credits. And there we're also talking to the people from EBSI or EBSI, or however it's pronounced, because they're also doing work on carbon credits. So that's also knowledge we will gather and that we can share within this group. I don't know specifically which LFDT projects might be used, but however, I think anything that can help to help towards adoption can be interesting. It depends also a bit on the partners. So these are the current projects.
Wow, that's awesome. And Shane, it would be nice if you could share some links with us as well. I'll make sure to put it in the minutes. If anyone has any questions about any of these projects, well, be free to ask. And there is no kind of strict agenda, and we can just have a general discussion as always. So yeah, the floor is up for questions if anyone has any. Usually Stoyan has at least 3, but not this time. Oh, cool. Stoyan, maybe you can share perhaps what's been happening in your area.
Oh, it was quite an exciting summer on my end. I was working mostly on my business, playing around with financial intelligence units because in Europe, people suddenly realized, oh my God, we actually have regulations on crypto. We have to actually do this now in some structured way. And most financial intelligence units were caught off guard. The travel rule came in force for also crypto transactions, which is a major surprise to practically everybody. You have about, I don't know, 60 or 70 organizations across Europe compliant. The rest are doing something. So it's a really funny situation across the continent. In the meantime, a few new initiatives. Currently, I'm actually building up an application for Generative AI Academy. So the EU is doing those advanced digital skill academies. So in this particular call, they're building 3 academies. One is on generative AI, one is on virtual worlds, and one is on geez, I don't remember. Anyways, I went for Gen AI because I had more appropriate consortia partners there. But this prompted me to also explore so the EU has Web 4.0 strategy. So everybody who's in Web 3, your yesterday's news, now we're going for Web 4. Um, and it's, I guess, some policy term because like they have also Industry 5.0 because Industry 4.0 is like something that we in Europe everybody does apparently. So let's push for 5.0 for some reason. But outside of like stupid policy labels, so the EU is figured out, hey, there is a bunch of innovation that has a lot of promise, but they don't deliver. AI being one of them, blockchain, another one, quantum. Oh, quantum is another problem that we have. Well, and this is the third academy that they're building. So they figured, well, like these things are great long term, but we also need to deliver in the short term. So we need to put all these radical innovations in one place and try to first accumulate value. Basically, they're trying to look for synergies between the different innovation trends. And the other one is pick the low-hanging fruits from those synergies and from the individual technologies. So basically, those virtual worlds that they're pushing, this is now the wrapper under which the EU would treat blockchain and AI. EPSI is also going under that umbrella, etc., etc. So it's a new thing, and like if you work with the EU, you know that they start at least 5 overlapping initiatives. 3 of them die early, 2 of them die later, and then they start another 5 in the same domain. And it's a really messy and really messy picture with a lot of overlapping initiatives. And it's important to pick the right one, the one that has the most political support, because this will translate to the most public sector money, translating therefore to the most private sector adoption. So frankly, to me, this Web 4.0 thing is interesting because of the political backing that it has. And it comes from different groups that like the synergies, different groups that like that, okay, will have a more we'll have a single bucket of investment for innovation instead of multiple buckets, one for each type of innovation, etc., etc. So when we're talking Web 4.0, currently there is a single online community or something that the strategy was accepted in 2023. Last year they had a conference on it, and also that so it was established, accepted, like voted in 23. Some online community was established. They had a really fast conference, and nothing has happened since. So it's a good opportunity to get on board. Again, this is probably like potentially from where I'm standing, looking at the political backing, the funding bucket for blockchain for the next few years at least. Um, as for the Gen AI Academy that I'm working on, it's under digital decade 2030. That's another policy, another strategy that's also pretty well funded. Basically, the objective is to make Europe the leader in all sorts of innovation. So that's why they're building those advanced digital skills academies, so they can spread knowledge of AI, blockchain, quantum computers, etc., 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 like those advanced digital skills at scale in the workforce. So basically, these are education programs, vocational education trainings, etc., etc. So they're also pushing for introduction certification. So these are basically the topics that I've been circling around. If anyone's interested in collaborating, more than welcome. Like universities are always welcome, research centers, even the Linux Foundation itself. For example, in the current code that I'm preparing, the Linux Foundation would fit amazingly as a center of excellence or community of excellence. If interested, I still have a gap there. So yeah, this is what I'm having fun with mostly. Trying to teach regulators about the the people who are supposed to regulate us. I'm trying to teach them what the law actually says, and in the meantime, also trying to stay ahead of EU policies.
Stan, thanks for an update from the policy world. I'm curious, you mentioned that if someone would want to be involved, this seems like the appropriate space. Could you share some resources about where they can learn more, or do they just simply Google Web 4.0 EU and that's it?
I would share some links on the Web4 initiative.
Yeah.
And as for ongoing projects, me and my team, we're constantly working on different applications in the space. Like the EU is investing heavily in cutting edge innovation, so it's just stupid to not care about it. So if you have any interest, just best reach out because frankly, information is pretty messy and hard to find. Like for example, we've been training AI agents to read every code that they publish, building resumes and building a RAG. So when we have a project idea, we basically throw it against the AI agent and asking, hey, what would pay for this? Like this is our idea. How we can get the public sector money for this. So yeah.
And Enrique or Renata, are you in any way involved in the EU, and you can share these same observations? I saw you having a small laugh there, Enrique, so you probably know a little bit about this.
So I'm an engineer at heart, so I think a lot of the policies that Stoyan mentioned around the EU, I'm now catching up to, getting more involved. I think we have other people in the team as well. that have experience in central banks and financial institutions that have a lot of view on the policy in Europe. So I focus more on the engineering side. So for me, an update on the summer has been just we presented some of the LFDT technologies at different conferences. We went to ETHCC, one of the biggest Ethereum conference, to present Paladin, one of the labs around privacy. I know a few people here on the call have played with Paladin before. I've seen a few blog posts. And we also, well, I really enjoyed the LFTT London meetup that Daniela organized. I think it was in June, maybe 3 months ago. I think it fits that gap.
Yeah.
I think I want to see more of that. So I'm curious to join this chapter and see some of these events that happen across Europe for the LFTT to meet potential clients, potential partners, and like-minded people in the space. But yeah, if you have any links there, Stoyan, I did have a quick Google while you were talking around the policy. That'll be interesting to read more.
Yeah, thanks, Enrique. Daniel, maybe perhaps because some of us might still not know a lot about the meetup that happened in London, would you like to share a bit about your experience and kind of perhaps, you might have some tips and tricks on how we could better organize these kinds of events ourselves in Europe?
Sure. I mean, I happened to be in London for an event, the Finos and conference, London conference, and then all that week there was events happening. So Goldman Sachs did a digital assets event, like a full day conference essentially. Citibank did a half day around digital assets and tokenization. So I was in town. There was a bunch of other members in town. So we asked around. We asked, who can host a meetup. Our friends at Pearpoint, which are members of the foundation based in London, they're part of Vodafone. David Palmer is the lead there. Said they would be able to host at their location. We had. It was stablecoin summer. It feels like it was a year ago, Enrique.
Yeah, I feel. Yeah, that phrase has reminded me a lot of this summer, the stable coins, all these networks popping about. Yeah.
I joke around. It's still stablecoin fall. So we had the topic was we had Tony McLaughlin, who now leads UBX. UBX is a new entity working on stablecoin settlement. So Tony's been a member of our community for a long time. He was at Citibank. He was, so he came and he did a presentation around the work that they're doing around stable coins. I just put it in the link, and there you can download the paper. We also had the GMSA. The GMSA is the Telecom Association, right? Working on the telecommunication standards. And they did a presentation around how the GMSA or the telecom industry as a whole thinks about stable coins. And there's a huge opportunity for the telecom industry, I think, in the not only in the decentralized identity space, but in the telecom, in the stablecoin space as well, payments more than anything else. So that was we just gathered around a topic and we came together and we did the topic. So I think the best places is when there's people in the community around and coming in for a conference or something like that, when there's obviously space to host a meetup, right? And Tomasz and myself and the rest of staff can help make connections to meet. The Vodafone office is mostly available. David Palmer has indicated that if we ever need to do another meetup in London, the Vodafone offices, if they're available, we are welcome to them. They're at Paddington Station, which is a nice central location that people can get to very easily from all around London. So once you understand that hey, people are going to be at this event, you have to plan it in advance, 4 to 6 weeks, if not more, if we want to get people's calendars really meet up. Build up. And then what happens is we have the meetup, the regional meetups, right? We have the European chapter and then we have the local chapters. And most of those local chapters have hundreds of people who've signed up over the years. Some of them are, have been, signed up for those cities for a long time. And you just message them, right? And you say, this is a European chapter meetup. And I think, Tomasz, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we tagged it to European chapter, that one. meetup. Let me just find
I
it.
think so, yes. Might have even been on the agenda.
Yeah,
Or
yeah, we
on
did
the
that.
events list, sorry.
Yeah, and we live streamed it. We had the opportunity to live stream it from the Vodafone offices. Let
Cool.
me see, past. I'll find it. It was in June.
Yeah, I can also send it.
There you go.
Mm.
And we had, you know, great people like Enrique come and join us. There's the meetup.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for sharing, Daniel, and thanks for sharing the resources as well.
Yeah, and we are, I think somebody on staff is going to go to London for the Bank of England's having a conference. I'm just looking. And maybe if timing works, we can do another London meeting. Anyway, I mean, if you have any questions, if that makes sense.
Cool. I think we'll let you look for it, and in the meantime, Renata, perhaps you'd like to share how has been your summer?
Too active. So starting with, so let me make a step back, maybe a small introduction for people here who I see the first time and who see me the first time. So in DSR and also from my side, we jumped to this ocean of digital identity 9 years ago with indie projects like key authors of Hyperledger Indie, and we are still here with a lot of different identity projects like Indie on Bezu, like Checked, different other projects like mostly toolkits and ecosystem applications, and also some non-identity ledgers, for example, for IoT. This summer for me and for DSR partially was about first-person credential project. So it is a project and idea initiative from IRA, and it is mostly as it sounds. It is about personal credentials that can be unique for a specific person, and also some business use cases, how to define that we speak not with AI but with a real person, how to prove that we know this maintainer or contributor of some open source project, and so on. I want to say that right now it's a big initiative, and why I mentioned it because we prepared a demo, and it was a global digital collaboration, I want to say, in Switzerland in the 1st of July, I think, where it was presented officially. And so a few nice demo there, new concepts, new ZKP. So right now I'm mostly an observer of this project, but maybe we will also join guys with the implementation of new ZKP standards and collaboration in community work. I can say that right now we are mostly focused on verticals and possibilities of real use cases. As all of us, we see that we need a successful story for identity market right now, and it is tricky. So, and also again about regulations and about real use cases. So right now we work in this direction, mostly with Hedera project, with Hyro, but not only. So that's why I started visiting some conferences that are not very specific, but mostly about blockchain and about business use cases to find something for our community, like a real integration.
Cool. Yeah, thanks for sharing about the identity space.
Thank you.
Tomas, do you perhaps have some LFDT updates for us? Something that we as the community might be good that we know that we might have missed over the summer?
Yeah, Mate, for sure. So two things that I actually did have on my list to share here is that maybe you've seen that we published a new case study which features EPSI. It features basically three public infrastructure projects, which are LockChain, EPSI, and RBB Brazil. They're all built on Besu, and I'll just share the link here so you can check it out. So we work closely with all of these three organizations, and that's how the case study came to be. It was presented at the Open Source Summit in Amsterdam in August, I believe that was, with our Chambon and the EPSI representative, Julian. So this might be something of interest to check it out. And another thing that I actually wanted to share, and I'll put it on the mailing list as well, is the upcoming workshop, which is organized by IO Builders. And it's about, excuse me, it's a Besu workshop, and it's in Spanish language. So I would like to share that. So for people that would prefer to have this sort of training in Spanish rather than in English, which we did earlier in the year, this might be a good meetup to attend to. It's only in October, so there's still plenty of time to sign up, but might be interesting for people that are interested in Spanish versions.
Great, awesome.
Can I ask a question shortly?
Please.
You mentioned
Sure.
Bezo and the initiative in Brazil around Bezo. Maybe you know some gossips also about the identity project and direction, because I know they had a pilot project for using Bezo, actually in Indian Bezo. So, but right now I see that it is still a pilot. So, do they have initiative mostly to maybe EPSI direction, maybe some other identity work?
Yeah, so you mean the work that CPQD was doing?
Yes, exactly. And so,
It's continuing, you know, it's moving at the snail pace of government projects, but that work is continuing, and there's been some there's been some decentralized identity news from Brazil with Fabric. Are you familiar with that work too? I can try to pull the link here. But yeah, are you connected with CPQD, with the team at CPQD, Renata?
yeah, sure, because fortunately, we see some pull requests in Indian Bezo repository and help them sometimes.
Okay. You know, they're, you know, if you want an introduction, they're members. We just had a briefing call with them 2 weeks ago where they took us through many of the projects that they're working. They're, you know, pretty active, including, you know, Drex related projects as well with Bezu, right, on the tokenization and real world asset side, outside of Drex, the CBDC that's paused right now. So yeah, if you want a direct introduction beyond just the you know, in the GitHub, we're happy to introduce you. Actually, you might have met, I see Jeannie definitely met Andreas, who
Yes.
is, you know, one of the core contacts for us at CPQD. She met her in San Francisco at the member summit last year.
Yes.
Um,
We had a call with them after that meeting, but right now we mostly discuss everything with engineering team, making some community support here. So when I ask about some like business initiative, next direction, I understand that it can be tricky because mostly the main point of our discussion is technical. So I thought maybe we know some news from them.
Yeah, my recommendation is to maybe, you know, have Ginny reach out to Andreas, or I can make the introduction if you want, and then just say we'd love to just have a briefing, you know, a member to member, company to company briefing, not in the public, and they'll give you some. They're just really, really busy. They really are. Let me see if I can find some of those links.
Thank you.
All right, awesome. Thanks for sharing about all of this. Yeah, just perhaps a small update from SPO. So over the summer, we have finished a few POCs, and we're actually moving to production of another project as well. And all of them are on Fabric, so this might not be interesting to all of you, but perhaps to some. And yeah, one of them was kind of an agriculture blockchain network. And so what we try to do is build like a blockchain system that was or not supposed to, but it actually does track agricultural processes.
Mhm.
And we did some integrations with IoT sensors and tried to create a system in which we could simply verify and then validate kind of the way that certain agricultural products are produced. And yeah, we are planning to release a case study on that. So perhaps if this is interesting for any of you, we would love to share it with you as well. This is kind of in the IoT space, but obviously it's all on Fabric. And then we did one more with a Polish company, which was actually about managing, I'd say, registering, managing, and then distributing intellectual property. And so we did that small project as well. I don't know if this is anything that is kind of happening in any other projects right now, but yeah, it's something we're working on. And then also, I think the most interesting one is related to greenwashing, and we've been building a system for a investment bank that helps using AI verify and then kind of automate tracking of ESG impact. And later we write all of that data on chain and obviously ensure that it's tamper-proof, etc. But yeah, these are some of the projects we've been working on. For a more detailed technical description, we would probably need Dominic here, who was working on these projects. However, his son got sick, so I'm sorry he couldn't come over today. But yeah, if any of these projects are kind of interesting to you, we would love to let you know more about them. So yeah, please reach out. And also in the summer, inspired a bit by LFDT, actually, we did a small research project in which we looked at how blockchain is being adopted in Saudi Arabia in recent years. We primarily focused on the financial services industry, but we also looked at kind of the most recent enterprise blockchain use cases, and then looked at the key kind of financial services use cases, so digital assets, tokenization, CBDCs, kind of what is the to kind of measure the temperature in the region. Long story short, not a lot happening, not as exciting as London probably, and not as exciting as the United States. However, yeah, there's some movement. So if you'd like to go through it and kind of learn a bit more about it, we also looked at some of the probably more widely or loudly announced Web3 projects that have been announced in the previous years related to Neom, etc., and kind of looked at where they ended up now. So yeah, if this is interesting for you, please let us know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, I can perhaps share a link here.
There was a lot there, and you're very busy. So a couple of things is, Fabric, we care very much about Fabric. I want to be very, very clear. And there is amazing use cases that have been in production for a very, very long time with Fabric and continue to be so. And I'm personally, I'm very, very interested in use cases specific to alignment with the regulatory requirements around textiles and agricultural in Europe and around the world as well. So Japan has similar ones, and there's a huge project in Japan. And it's actually, Shane, might be interesting for you. But one of the things that we would love to be able to map is these projects, right? Or these solution projects that the community is delivering that aligned directly to the regulatory requirements around, it's like the digital passport. Obviously, Shane mentioned this before in the chat, and the agricultural requirements as well, because those are great. great ways to tie the technology that overwhelmingly gets just tied into crypto and digital assets and tokenization to real, to the use cases that the technology is enabling. And Renata made this point before as well about going to conferences and giving talks in places that are not just about blockchain, right? We're very good at going to blockchain conferences to talk about blockchain. We love talking to people who know what we're talking about, right? But how do we go to conferences and events and do speaking in, supply chain and manufacturing, spaces in European, from your perspective, in European, conferences where people are talking about requirements, right? So we definitely care. We're very interested in telling those stories. If you take a look outside of Europe and outside of the US, look towards Japan. There's, and I'll find this Japanese huge consortium in a second. If you look, obviously in Brazil, but yeah, that's that. We would love to learn more and be able to tell those stories. How do we, and not talk about the tech. The tech is there, it's scalable, it's in production, all that stuff. But also here's the results that we're getting. So let me find this Japanese one.
Yeah, and Matze, whenever that's in production, I would love to organize a webinar around it, to get more eyes on it. It will be, I think, a very nice thing to show. And of course, send it to our use case tracker as well. The more we make it visible, the better, right?
Right. Yeah, sure. I mean, we're definitely open to that. It's just that for now, these are either starting or in POC.
Right.
Probably
Of
not
course.
as interesting for you. So yeah.
Right, but absolutely happy then to help spread the word once it's production.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
Sure.
Yes, and at the talk we delivered at the Open Source Summit in Amsterdam, so the one SSI for Zero Trust, before I started the talk, so from that whole conference, I think there were 30 or 40 persons showing up to watch it live. And of all of them, I asked, has anyone heard about self-sovereign identity? And there was nobody. So it also shows
Oh,
how small this space is. And that's of the people who already came to the talk. Yeah.
And how have you managed to talk to these people if they've never heard about it before? Did you?
Yeah.
There was probably a huge knowledge gap in between
You
there,
can
right?
watch it on YouTube, but it was a very hard talk to deliver because I I'm not fully comfortable talking about cybersecurity or zero trust. I'm also no expert on that or on the industrial floors. So the whole talk was filled with disclaimers that probably your systems are much more complicated and like just high level to show that integrating with each supplier would be very cumbersome and that there's this way of having verifiable credentials and then to validate and then from the questions there were also questions like then why is not everything going through the system and then I said, yeah, it's a bit cumbersome. If you have an internal system, it's easier. However, it's worth it for external things. And then also they asked a question that Renata answered for me in the meetup we had previously, like, will there be one network or many? And then I said many, and then I could also recommend them to watch the meetup we had before. And so, and also we recently had a meetup on trusted AI agents online. That was, I think, the most popular we organized so far. And there, I believe there will also be a big place for the self-sovereign identity and the verifiable credentials, which might maybe be a killer use case for that because it really brings the current authentication systems to its limits if you have all these agents needing to pass these identities. But there was a good presentation by Ander Kesselman who really gave a nice overview of the whole space of trust in AI agents.
Yeah.
I like how you described it because, in my experience, showing the use cases and SSI topic and identity topic to other verticals, non-SSI, the main question, unfortunately, I can hear on all conferences, where is income?
Where's
Income, because I
where's
can,
the
The money.
where's
yes,
the money?
yeah,
Yeah.
I can describe them that it is much more secure and safe for their users, for their clients, but unfortunately, right now they don't care.
Actually, like if I may chip in, because I'm working on an identity project right now in the design phase. Um, so AML is a big thing in finance. What most people do not realize is that AML, so the EU recently adopted an AML directive. So it's like a higher tier of legislation. And the scope of it is massive. It includes not only financial service providers, but anybody in construction and anything real estate related, anybody in law, citizenship, etc., etc., etc. So the scope is massive, and the AML responsibility. And this is the thing. Like the government comes from nowhere and just slaps you with responsibilities. They just say, okay, from this day onward, we expect you to do this, to be part of this closed loop network where we track user behavior and like mostly financial behavior. And organizations are struggling with this massively because just to put it in perspective, 5 years ago, you do like a simple identity check. Like you ask them for some private data, like their citizen number, name, or whatever, maybe a photo of their ID. That was that. Then sanction screening became a thing. Okay, 4 or 5 lists that apply to most European countries. You check them, you're golden. Um, Now both are really, really, really complicated. Okay, now just a single photo is not enough. You need liveness check. You need like a bunch of other. So they're already established best practices, and the regulator expects those best practices to be implemented. And that's just establishing the identity of the person on the other side. So government issued EIDs are amazing in that regard, but they're not solving the problem because, okay, let's say my company has multiple legal entities, and they're structured like in a holding structure, etc., etc. Like that's every large business around the world. Okay, good luck with figuring out those identities. Then you have the travel rule responsibility, which is another kind of worms. That's also part of your responsibility. Oh my God, if you're moving assets on chain, any sort, like it doesn't have to be stable coins, like any kind of RVA. Uh, okay, you need on-chain analytics. So you have to, like as a service provider, you have to know who are you sending assets to, who are you receiving assets from, are they somewhat shady, what's the risk profile, etc., etc. So there's a ton of responsibility that organizations are forced to take on by the government, and they're struggling. And all this responsibility is around their customers' identity and the identities of their customers' counterparties. So every organization in those industries would need an SSI solution sooner or later. There would be pan-industry SI solutions. For example, when we're talking travel rule, what is travel rule? Basically, okay, I'm a CASP, and my customer wants to send money to a wallet. It's my responsibility to figure out if that wallet is hosted with another CASP, crypto asset service provider, or is it a self-hosted wallet? If it's a self-hosted wallet, that's automatically pushing it into the extreme high risk category. So if it's hosted by another CASP, I have to find what CASP hosts this wallet. I have to find on what encrypted messaging network they exist. There are plenty options there, and I have to message them. And if I don't exist on that encrypted network that they exist on, oh my God, like that's another can of worms. So all this can be solved through SSI. Um, like announcing, okay, this identity owns this wallet hosted by this organization. For example, this can be public data. With ZKP, uh, third parties can access only limited bits of that credential, just enough. For example, the credential won't be publicly accessible. As a licensed CASP, I would get the opportunity to access certain bits, like for example, okay, yes, this wallet exists and it's hosted by this organization. Who the owner is, who the end customer is, it's not my business. I just need to know who the receiver of my message should be, etc., etc. So like, they're good cases, use cases for SSI. But for now, they're like niche pain points for certain industries. But judging by the spread of AML, because it's a viral type solution, and the velocity of that spread over the last 7 or 8 years, it has grown 10x in terms of like people who are responsible and also the amount of the responsibility they have. So I guess this would grow. Like it's already spanning a few industries, and I expect those industries only to increase.
Yeah.
For example, right now nobody's going after luxury goods, nobody's going after commodity trading, etc., etc. But once we see more and more, because the EU now has the asset reference tokens, RVAs, basically. So when we can put commodities on tokens, guess what? These are now securities, but they don't treat them as securities, which is another layer of
Yes,
complexity. Yeah,
interesting.
so I believe that the government would continue discovering more and more use cases for ML, and ML is closely tied to SSI. And most importantly, privately hosted SSI.
Worldwide, for sure. And I'm just looking here. I'm going to send you just this week, at least from the U.S. And I think the U.S. is a little bit behind on a lot of this. There's Identity Week. Renata, I don't know if anybody on your team is at Identity Week this year.
Actually, I think no, but I can say the list of conferences for this year is finalized for me. So,
Yeah, no, it's happening today, so it's in
oh
DC.
yeah, then no.
Yeah, but a lot of these topics are being addressed there as well. So a couple of things. One is, and maybe Tomasz, you can brief this team on the Trust over IP Symposium. So one of the projects under LF Decentralized Trust is Trust over IP. So they're a joint development fund. They're actually a standards organization. They work on the governance, the trust governance. So there's a couple of things happening that might be of interest in that space, Stoyan, and for the rest of you. One is we'll have a symposium, and I'll let Tomasz give you a little bit of those details. I think we're almost ready to publish it, so I think. And so it will be a virtual symposium. And a lot of the speakers and the contributors and maintainers of those projects and standards will be speaking about this. Yeah, so I think there's a lot of that work is happening in the space worldwide as well. There was something else that I was going to say on the AML stuff. It'll come back to me. It'll come back to me. Let me put these links over here. Oh, good, Tomasz. Site's live. Woo!
Yeah, exactly. So I just put it here in the chat. As Nila mentioned, it's a 2-day symposium. It's you have a short description here. So the day one will have the several presentations and discussing the trust spanning protocol, and some use cases, which we actually have in use case tracker, right? Bhutan national identity card, and also the British Columbia. And then the day two, there will be active workshops, so you can join, just for a specific one that you're going to be interested in. and call for proposals went out, I think, a few days ago, and it's from the working groups that are involved with trust over IP. So literally today in the morning, an hour ago, we had this web page corrected and done, sort of get ready to start promoting. So it's gonna get more and more information on it. So I would encourage you to follow it, and I'll also post on the group so you can see whenever we have new sessions announced. The cutoff time for the CFP is September 19, and then you will get a clearer picture of how it will look like.
When's the registration going to be live?
It will be at the beginning of October, most likely, because no, sorry, end of September, because after the CFP are done, then we're going to meet and put the registration on.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. You and I should chat because registration.
That was okay.
Before then. So
before that, okay.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Yeah. Well, I think if there are no more topics, we could slowly bring this meeting to an end. If I may just say at the end that we also have this kind of another, perhaps a bit broader report called Blockchain in Finance being done now, and we're gathering survey answers. So if you know anyone in the financial space that would like to perhaps share their recent achievements in the field of AML, securities clearing, stablecoins, tokenized assets, we are gathering some answers, and if you could help us, we'd really appreciate it. We still have a few more to go. And one more thing, I wanted to say happy birthday to Thomas and Daniela. I know that there are 6 days left till the LFDT's 1-year anniversary, so we'll probably not meet by that time. So cheers, and yeah, congratulations and good luck.
It's not us. It's not us as in Tomasz and me. It's all of us, right?
Right.
This includes all our members, all our community, anyone participating. The amount of progress that as a foundation, LF Decentralized Trust, Linux Foundation Decentralized Trust has done with new projects, with new regional chapters, right? With, all the work that the community's done. It's really amazing to see. It's been so hard. I'm trying to write a blog post around everything that's happened in the last 12 months, and it's crazy. It's like literally crazy. Like it either is going to be like a 10-page blog post or, I'm going to miss a lot of things. But, it's thanks to all of you.
Perhaps you could do a live stream instead of a blog, then would also be probably more interesting. Then you could share.
The thing is, we're going to be doing the town hall from the members for the 1 year. We are going to have a webinar that is the 1-year anniversary of Hyro, because that came in at the same time. The other thing is we have a major milestone, which is 10 years coming up in December, that our community has worked together on a lot of these projects. So we're going to really focus. And one of the things, Tomasz, I don't know if you've talked to this chapter about doing regional events to celebrate 10 years of the Linux Foundation working on blockchain and decentralized identity, and how far we as a community have gone. But more importantly, right, is telling the story of how our community has really pushed the industry forward. I say this story all the time. I have crypto bros, and let's call them crypto bros. I have crypto bros coming up to me all the time, right, who are not even active in our community. They're, trading crypto coins and degen, ecosystems, which is great. And they come to me and they say, Daniela, I learned about blockchain by taking the Intro to Blockchain 101 course in 2018 that the Hyperledger project at the time put out, right? So we've had a huge impact on what's happened in the blockchain space, in the digital asset space, and in identity space. And we're going to be celebrating that in 10 years. So you're going to see a lot of public stuff and opportunities for us to really tell that story over the next few months, with culminating in December. And what I would love to do is find a place, and Tomasz, I don't know, maybe you can talk a bit about what we want to do on the 10th year anniversary with the regional chapters, or do you want me to?
Okay, we only have 1 minute, Daniela. I can also write it down. if you'd
So
like.
very quickly, because I think it's important as a takeaway for this
Okay.
group here, and for us to recruit new people to come into the European chapter, or to get people who are already in the chapter, right, excited about what's going to happen, is over the next few months, culminating in December, we'll have a huge 10-year celebration of what we've done for this industry, right, as a community. What we want to do is we already have Brazil's already planning on doing something locally. I think India is going to do something locally, is find a place, a central place. Europe is just a little bit harder because everybody's find a place locally that we can, or maybe do two or three in Europe, right? And we have one day, here's 2 hours. We're going to have, Poland's going to get together, London's going to get together, and, Lisbon is going to get together, and that's going to be the regional celebration of 10 years of our community. So Tomasz will send out more information to help us coordinate
I'll
that.
send out more, on the list.
Okay.
Yes, please, and I'm sure everyone here will want to get involved. So awesome.
Great. Excellent. Enrique Renato is asking about Barcelona. Enrique, I don't know who's going to go to Barcelona from Kaleido. I know some of you are going to be there. If you guys can just connect.
Yeah, I think maybe Sergi might be there.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, let me know, Renata. Ping me on Discord or whatever.
Great.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you, everyone. And yeah, see you next month.
Awesome.
Great.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
See you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.